Hey guys, I am going to show you guys how I did some of the stuff in my Sheezus Instagram edit, I guess you could call it. It was for a failed collab. Um, yeah, so I made a coloring that was just like one color. I mean, there's some red in it too, but I want it to mostly be one color so it has contrast when you add some white doodles to it, and just to make sure it shows up and it kind of gets this grunge look. But yeah, anyways, I'm going to render this out and put it in Photoshop, and I guess if you want to see my render settings for Photoshop, that's fine. I'll do that now. I do 720p because it's just easier that way. It doesn't take so long to load. Alright, cool. Next I'm going to open it in 1 second. Okay. So you basically just go to open under the file menu and you should be able to just open the video if you have Photoshop CC, and it's in the 2015 version, so I can imagine it'll be in other versions as well. Okay. So now what I am going to do is just play it to make sure everything is fine. And now you just add on designs that you want to put on it. Okay. So to add a new layer, I'm just going to create a new group. Then add I'm just going to name this face, because this is where I'm going to put the animations on her face. And down in there is where you should get that. And then you just kind of cut using the, I don't know, the scissor cut tool, so that you have different layers that you can draw on. And I'm just going to go ahead and do a few things, or show you a few things that you can do. And you can just continue that for these next layers. Okay, so I think that's good enough. Otherwise, this will just be a very long process because it takes a while. Don't get me wrong, it does take a while, but I think the outcome looks cool. And you just do stuff like that. Make sure you do the same thing on every layer. Just trying to recreate that first layer, and it'll give it that drawing look. Oops. There we go. Then I think I'm going to just have that in there. And say you wanted to add another thing on top of this layer, I would just collapse that group and create a new group and just name this whatever. And then you can add a new layer in this group. Kind of just do the same thing by cutting it up. For this, I am going to just put some dots around her face, kind of like how I did in the video that I posted on Instagram. And you can slowly start going down the face, so it looks like the dots are like just running down her face, or whoever you're using. Then you just get something like that. I would, of course, spend more time on this so it doesn't look so weird, but feel free to transform this using the whatever this tool is, the move tool, to kind of make it fit. Yeah, make it fit. Words. Wow. Another thing you can do if you really don't want to keep redrawing is you could duplicate this layer, move it over, and then just kind of reposition it. And hold down the controls so you can make it look a little different without having to change. Just play with the control key and then move around the sides. And now to render it, you just go over to this drop or whatever menu and click render video. And these are my settings. I think they're the default settings, but if not, this is what they are. I'm going to just select my desktop for the folder. Okay, I will put this in my Vegas. And there you go. So initially, what I'm noticing now is it's kind of hard to see this thin line and that I did first, so I'd recommend doing more than the 1 pixel brush. Maybe bump it up to 3 or 2. But yeah, that's pretty much how you do that. And I do believe when you do this style, if it's for your own video, I think a great thing to change your frame rate to is 20 frames per second. That's what I did, and it just gives it that more drawing, animated feel. And then I guess some of the zooms and stuff is pretty standard. You just maybe I'm gonna cut this in a few places. Just change the pan crop and then with this coloring, it's cool because you can just put HSL adjust, and or if you want to keep the red, you can just add some color corrector and make sure it's targeting the yellow. Then you can just change the color like that. And I'm pretty sure I added some video glitch to this, and just the standard one. Maybe add some flicker. Oops. You get something like that. Just kind of very erratic and crazy and hectic and grungy. Yeah, I think that looks pretty cool. Alright, well, I think that concludes this tutorial. I'm sorry if I was having trouble explaining some of this. It's 1 a.m., almost 2 a.m. But that's what I get for doing things last minute. Alright, well, I will see you guys next week, and I have no idea what I'm doing for a tutorial next week. Isn't that promising? Love that. Alright, bye guys.